Thank you, Raul. We really appreciate your honesty in sharing your belief that Steven is best gem. Sure, everyone else loves Garnet, but it is important to remember that we are all allowed our guilty pleasures. Now, before we close for the evening, who else would like to share? I've noticed that we have a newcomer this evening.
Me?
Yes, you, the well-dressed fellow.
Oh, it's alright. I wasn't listening. What did you want? I'm just over here thinking about how much I love Ever After High.
Ay, Dios mío.
Okay, there. Everyone calm down. There's no need to worry. This is a safe place. Now, please feel free to admit why this is your guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure? No. I just like Ever After High.
Then why are you here in Guilty Pleasure Anonymous?
Well, I heard you validated. Guilty pleasure. What a ridiculous notion. As if I'd feel guilty about anything. Oh, hi, Faithful. Long time no see. I bet you missed this perfect face of mine. I know I would if I were you. Welcome to the Way of Things, where I get to stand up on my soapbox and preach at you for a bit about things I like, things I hate, things I find weird, or just plain interesting. Really, whatever I feel like talking about that day, you have to listen to, as long as you're watching this video. I wanted to talk to you about something. I bet you couldn't guess. But I never believed in the concept of guilty pleasures. I mean, why feel guilty about something you like just because everyone else hates it? So, when I say I like something, no, there is no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no caveats, there's no precursors, there's no explanation. I just like it, and I have my reasons. You do too. You just may not have thought about it. I mean, there is a reason so many people like the Transformer movies. I'm not one of them, but hey, to each their own, right? So, when I say I like Ever After High, no, I like Ever After High, and I have no shame in this. There's nothing you can say that will change my mind. As is, there's nothing I can say that will change yours about something you like. What's Ever After High, you ask? Well, obviously you don't like candy-colored shows filled with magic and whimsy. And high schools. Wait, get back here! No, this is not Disney's Descendants. Come back. Get in here. Sit. Good. Stay. Good. Let me continue. This is not Disney's Descendants. This is Disney's Descendants done right. Imagine a world filled with every fairy tale, every legend, every mystical creature that ever existed. And it all happened. Their story's been told. However, for this world to exist, their children must continue the story. Their children must take the role of their parents and tell the story. Or at least that's what they're told. This is a story of Raven Queen and Apple White. Two descendants of the evil queen from Snow White and Snow White's daughter, told they have to relive the story their parents went through. So, before I go on, know there's going to be spoilers. So if you are interested in the show, go watch it. Literally, it will only take about 5 hours of your time to sit down and watch the entire series on Netflix. And a few episodes more on their website, but do what you want. So we follow Raven Queen and Apple White, at least mostly. We follow a couple other characters as well, but we'll get into that later. Raven Queen is the daughter of the evil queen. And she's told she must be evil and do evil things to every evil person. And she's praised for being evil and shamed for being good. But she wants to be good. She's artistic, talented, and creative. And doesn't like the idea of having to follow her mom's footsteps where everyone in the world hates her. She wants friends. She wants her own happy ending. Apple White, on the other hand, wants exactly what her mother's fairy tale was. She wants to be put to sleep. She wants to be cursed. She wants to be kissed, to be woken up. This, to me, shows a great dynamic in the show. Some want to follow their own path, and others want to follow the path that they said they had. And it's a great lesson for everyone to learn. But we'll get into that later. Anywho, let's get started. The good. This show has no right to be as good as it actually is. It's kind of weird, really. I mean, It's a show meant to sell dolls to children. And yet, here I am talking about it. First is the writing. It has funny jokes, strong morals, good characters. I mean, overall, it's well written. It's a good show to sit down and enjoy, whether you're a child or an adult. Like I said, the jokes are funny, and they often hit home. We have funny little instances with a crazy character called Madeline Hatter, the daughter of the Mad Hatter. She's random, strange, and I'm not gonna lie, there's gonna be comparisons to Pinkie Pie in this. But she is her own character, where Pinkie Pie is cartoon logic. Madeline Hatter is Wonderland logic. So if you know anything about Wonderland, it's very much more random than Pinkie Pie, and less calculated. She just does things to enjoy the madness of the world. She'll make you laugh. One of my favorite jokes in the whole series is how Apple White gets her kiss from a Charming. And it's not what you think. Who kisses Apple White? But none other than Darling Charming. I have no clue if they're going to take this into a direction with something about that, or it's just a one-off joke. Either way, I felt it was an interesting way to propel her story. And like I said, this is all good writing. The next part I really want to talk about is the characters. We have Madeline Hatter, like I said, who just enjoys the madness. Then we have people like Daring Charming, who's the stereotypical Prince Charming. So stereotypical, he's obsessed with his own damn reflection. And I don't see him as being a real Prince Charming in any story other than, look at me, I look good. As if he can look as good as this, right? Then we have the main characters, like Apple White and Raven Queen. Raven Queen is probably my favorite character next to Madeline Hatter, and she kind of drives the whole story of going against the story, choosing your own path. Apple White drives the story of it's okay to follow a path that's set for you if that's what you want to do. But their interaction's really what I find interesting about their characters. Then there's the daughter of Little Red Riding Hood, probably my favorite design of a character who has to struggle with the idea of being the daughter of the first rebels. Little Red Riding Hood married the big bad wolf. Shocking, I know. But she makes an interesting character, and she always hides her ears. I just love that design and who she is. She's athletic, quirky, but insecure, and it makes an interesting character. Then we have, of course, the daughter of Pinocchio, a girl who cannot tell a lie. Literally, she can't lie. And she's made of wood. The Cupid. This is a pullover from Monster High, but we're not talking about that. She is a far more interesting character in this, and there is a bit of a love triangle between her, Raven Queen, and Dexter Charming, which I find to be hilarious. Mind you, I watch a lot of anime, and harems are my forte. Either way, I think it's an interesting dynamic between them. And I don't want to ruin it too much, because that's a part I think you need to see. Let's move on to the next part I like. The morals. This story is all about choosing your own destiny, choosing your own path. You don't have to follow the path others put down for you. This is a great message for anyone, kid or adult. If you're in college trying to figure out what you want to do, this is a good thing to sit down and watch. If you're a child just listening to your parents predict your future, sit down and watch this. Hell, if you're an adult who followed a path or didn't, this is a good way to see a different idea, to reinforce your own ideas, to introduce you to new ones. I think it's a great little moral. The other moral that I really liked, and goes hand in hand with choosing your own destiny, is you can't judge a child for the sins of the parent. You can't judge the daughter of the witch from Hansel and Gretel just because she was evil. The daughter just likes to cook. These messages really speak to me, and I think they're universal and ageless. Finally, my last good, the designs. Now, I'm a sucker for cartoon designs, and these dresses are freaking mind-blowing. Do they work in reality? Hell no. These things would fall apart faster than anything. They would not hold up that way. But as 2D animations, they are beautiful and creative. There are some parts, and that we'll go in that in the bad, that I don't like that much. But most of them are just so out there, especially the Wonderland stuff. And they make you almost want a figure of it, though all that's available are dolls. Sorry. Now, let's get to the bad. First, let's address the elephant in the room, the animation. It's Flash animation. And not the best quality Flash animation. This is no My Little Pony, folks. You really don't notice it most of the time, especially when it's just close-ups and them talking, because most of the story plot and the humor is driven through interactions and dialogue. But you see a few action scenes, and they are awkward. Their running animation is so puppet-like you can't even believe. And though it gets better later on, it's always a little bit there, and you always get the sense of puppetry motion. Think of it kind of like the old school Chinese shadow puppet theater. Very similar to that, a little more modernized, but you know what, overall the story's good and so are the morals, so I can forgive this. Next is the high heels. I said I like the designs of the dresses. I love the designs of the dresses, and some of the high heels are kind of creative and fun. There's one with Madeline Hatter whose high heels are made of teacups. Kind of cute, kind of cool, quirky, but every girl wears damn high heels. I know this is an animation thing to save on animation and make things cheaper because they all have the same basic puppet, but god damn, these high heels make no damn sense. I mean, Raven Queen stands on her fucking tippy toes the entire time. There's no heels. She's just on her tippy toes in these weird shoes that make her look more like a centaur than anything. Oh. And then every girl wears high heels. Every girl, regardless of her personality. Not one of them doesn't wear high heels. It's kind of like the stupid Equestria girl thing where every girl fucking wears a skirt no matter who they are. Why the fuck does Applejack have a skirt on? I mean, she's Applejack. She wouldn't wear a skirt on the farm, but I'm sorry. Anyways. These high heels are stupid. They have a scene with the daughter of Red Riding Hood, and she's sporty. She actually helps them win a game. A weird football game with a book for some reason. And they're fighting giants. Yeah, it's about as weird as you think it is. And she saves the team because she's super fast and athletic. But she does it in high heels. She even says, "Let me get my running shoes," and she's still in high heels. It makes no damn sense, and it really gets to me. No matter who you are, if you're a girl, you wear a dress and you wear high heels. That's the logic of the show, folks. My next is just a little bit of a pet peeve, and not so much a bad. But there are so many interesting designed characters with little quirks, and you want to know more about them, but they just don't get enough time to shine. I've talked about the daughter of Little Red Riding Hood, and she is one of my favorite characters design-wise. I love her personality, and she is so underrepresented, especially with her deals with not wanting anyone to know that her father is the big bad wolf, not wanting to let anyone know that her parents were the first rebels. Oh, by the way, it's a whole thing with Royal Rebel thing. You'll get to that when you watch the show. I don't want to go into it here. She doesn't want anyone to know this. And hell, we see her sister for literally 2 seconds at the last episode, and it's like, I didn't even know she had a sister! Where was her sister? Her sister's out in the open. Her sister shows off her ears. Her sister shows off her heritage. She doesn't care. But it's such a cute moment when the dad, the big bad wolf, grabs his daughter and says, "I love my girls." God, but I want to see more of her. I want a story based on her. However, the show's still young. We only have 4 seasons, or kinda 3.5 movies, to be realistic. And if it's anything like its parent show, Monster High, we have a lot of movies to look forward to. I mean, dozens of them, potentially. Let's just hope they don't go into that creepy CGI. But that's a topic for a later date. Finally, the last bad is something I can't get around. I'm a collector. I like toys. I like figures, and I especially like anime figures. These things are great quality. So when I first got into the show, I'm like, I want to show my support for the show and buy a toy. However, though I love the show and its main purpose in life is to sell toys, I can't stand these toys. Their heads are too big. Yeah, and you can say it's in the show too. Yeah, I get it. But it's weird in reality. And then their joints. Oh god, these things are ugly. They look like the cheapest plasticky joints you've ever seen. And this comes from a Figma lover who loves this idea of ball joints, but these are just little slots and creepy. And though I love the designs of the dresses and the costumes, they just don't translate that well into actual fabric designs. The simple ones are pretty cool. I mean, I saw one today, which was the new Raven Queen, who was in her dragon riding gear, and that one actually kind of worked. Not gonna lie, I like that one. If it wasn't for those stupid fucking joints. But most of them just don't hold up, and so they often look very Barbie girlish. And no, I'm not going to play the song, I want the show to actually go. Another issue I have is some of these side characters that are obviously just there to sell another toy. Like the last episodes of the show where they introduced these little fairy things that didn't need to be there. They already introduced fairies earlier, but they're little nymph things that can't even talk. They go annoying as hell. But I understand that's why it exists, and gotta catch them all. And like everything I like, there's a little bit of weird in this, so let's talk about it. First off, those dragons in the last season, they're so cute and adorable, and they're vegetarians, and I want to hold them, I want to cuddle it, and I want to... Yes, I'm not ashamed of this. I want to cuddle it, and I just want to kiss it, and love it, and ride it forever. I like the dragons. What really made me fall in love with the show were these little moments hidden in the animation, hidden in the background, hidden to the side, or just in plain sight, but you're meant to not really think about it. These were what made me fall in love with this show. One of the first that comes to mind is when Raven Queen first realizes that Applewhite is her roommate. Then Applewhite sings a song and 4 birds appears, only to have Raven come over and say, yeah, whatever, and shoo him away. 3 fly away without a problem, but 1 stays, and she doesn't scare it or show that she's evil. No, she tickles it under its chin, and the bird likes it. The bird likes her. It's a cute moment. She smiles. It shows that she's a good person and that she wants to be something more than an evil queen. There are other moments, like Raven Queen loves animals. Applewhite uses them, kind of like slave labor. Little awkward. The funny ways you'll see them look at each other for small moments, little gestures, and just small things. If you pay attention to them, they can make the show for you. Finally, and the last bit of weird is the kiss between Darling Charming and Applewhite. Oh God, how I love this culmination of this storyline. She so wanted, all she ever wanted was to be cursed and put to sleep so that a Prince Charming can come and kiss her and wake her and she'll live happily ever after. But it doesn't work. Daring Charming, the stereotypical Prince Charming, comes in and kisses her and he fails so gloriously. I loved it so much. It tore him apart. It was so funny. But you know what? His sister, the most princely of them all, the most Utana of the team, she comes in and she plants a big old smackaroony on the sleeping Snow White. And she wakes up. So her Prince Charming is a princess. I love it. Oh, please, Netflix. Ever After High, don't let this go. Make it a thing. Make it funny. Make it touching. Make it topical. I don't care. Just keep it in the story because, oh my god, we had the Legend of Korra to start it off. And we have Steven Universe, who is perfecting it. Even though people keep claiming they're rocks, not really women, you know what? They're women, they're in love. Let it go, because it's magical. So let's have some jokes about it. Let's have some shame about it. Let's have a fun story about it. Or let's have a full-on relationship and show the girls and boys of the world that this is normal. This is what I want. Please give me more. That was the way of things. Like I said before, my little soapbox where I get to preach at people. Though I do it anyway, so hey, the fact that there's a camera here, just another Tuesday for me. But anyways, if you liked it, let us know. If you didn't, go to hell. Either way, we're going to keep doing this. You know, if you like me a lot, you can click right here and see me act in one of our anime reviews with a silly other man. Or, if you want to see me talk about My Little Pony in a car at really close up and awkwardly, click here. Either way, if you like me, subscribe. If you don't, go to hell.